Hey, what's up out there, Kraken fans? How you doing tonight? Thanks for tuning in for this episode of Postgame Rapid Reaction. Man, it feels like I haven't been live in ages, but here we are on the live stream recapping a Kraken victory here late in the season as they take down the San Jose Sharks 4-2. Great to have you guys along for this episode. Let's talk about tonight's game, break everything down, talk about the goals, and hear from you guys in the chat as we go. I've got a poll question tonight for springtime kind of themed. How do you feel about doing yard work in the springtime? I talked about this on the podcast a little bit this morning. So let me know. And let me know how things are going in the chat tonight if you're around. If not, that's fine too. But in the replay, in the comments, let's hear from you guys as the Kraken wrap up a disappointing season, but trying to find some positives. Shane Wright into the lineup, had a goal in tonight's contest, his second career NHL goal, and immediately making an impact there on the line with Jaden Schwartz and Jordan Eberle. So it's great to see that. Great to see some minutes from Shaner and exciting future glimpses here for the Kraken as we get into the late stages of this season. But tonight, you guys, let's talk about things. Let's break it down. Like I said, my name is Mike Sasquatch NHL. It is great to be live again here on the channel, even if it is late in the season and we've had a little bit of a rough year. But yeah, going to keep at it here and keep bringing the coverage to you here at Sasquatch NHL because a lot to look forward to. We got the draft, we got free agency coming up, the playoffs. Be sure to tune in for the playoffs coming up for all the other teams. There's a lot of great teams, a lot of great hockey ahead here in the late stages of the season. Let me know in the chat where you're tuning in from. Be sure to hit that poll question. So far, results are 50% love it, 50% I'd rather be watching hockey. So, all right, let's keep it going. And thanks again for tuning in. Like I said, coming to you live, Sasquatch Studio. Haven't been able to do this as much this year, but, kind of settling back into some sort of normalcy with the schedule. So we'll see. Obviously, summertime, I can't do post-game live streams, but I do have some plans here on the channel with some other content, some videos that I think you might find entertaining. Just got to get to them, got to record and edit. It takes a while sometimes to get through all that, but yeah, that's where we're at. Let me I think I have my volume up over here. Let me turn this down real quick, make sure it's not coming through and bugging you guys on the broadcast. Let's talk about the game day setup just a little bit. We're going to recap the game, like I said, talk about the goals that were scored tonight, some of the things that we saw happen on the ice. That energy was definitely a little bit better tonight from the Kraken, even though they're playing a team like San Jose that's not very good. But, you love to see a victory no matter what way it comes. Tonight, slim margin, and Kraken pulled the goalie late. McCann hit the post, but then put it in at the end there and caps off a Kraken win 4-2. But yeah, the setup coming into tonight, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Kraken roster, the churn with some of the young guys that have been coming up now. They've met that 4 maximum number of transactions. They can only perform 4 of those post-deadline. So at this point, you probably won't see more guys get called up unless it's on some sort of emergency basis. So we'll talk about the roster. We're going to live chat with you guys. And if you're enjoying the video here on the channel, and also, check out the podcast that I published this morning, audio only over on your podcast app. But yeah, if you are enjoying the video tonight, hit that like button for me right now as we go through tonight's recap and talk about the San Jose Sharks and the Seattle Kraken, tonight's matchup. Quick update on the poll. We've got a few more votes here. People would rather be watching hockey. It looks like 60% in the vote right now. Others love it. So nobody hates yard work. They would just rather be watching hockey or potentially doing yard work. So thanks for voting on that. Let me know in the chat if you prefer to do something else outside of those activities in the spring. Also, sometimes I like to just kick back in the sunshine with a nice drink of some sort. I'm a martini guy. Maybe what's your drink of choice in the summer or spring sunshine? Love to hear from you guys as we go through the recap tonight. Okay, so let's set things up just a little bit. Game day coming in, and thanks everybody for participating in the game day predictions this year for the first Kraken goal. Actually, the first goal, but we usually count up the Kraken ones. So everybody that's participated in that, we're going to do a final tally. I think I'm going to do that live, or maybe the game before the last game, try to do that live. Add everything up so that you guys can know who's going into the final contest with a chance to win the prize pack and be crowned champion of the game day prediction thread at Sasquatch NHL this year. This will be the second year we've done it. And Jim, if he's out there listening tonight, he's trying to defend his title. So that's a fun little game we do here on the channel. But okay, game setup. Sharks, obviously not a very good team. 17-48-8. Just recently traded away Tomas Hertl at the deadline, kind of surprised everybody. He went to Vegas. Sharks definitely in kind of that seller and building mode right now, hoping for that first overall draft pick, winning the lottery here for the NHL draft. We'll see. They've got the best odds right now, and it looks like that's probably where things are going to stay unless a dramatic win streak happens for the Sharks. I think mathematically, I don't even know if it's possible, but pretty sure the Sharks are going to end up last. So that means they'll have the best chance at getting that NHL draft first pick overall and by winning the lottery. So looks like we've got a comment over on the chat here. So let's bring that up on the screen. Patrick says, the last goal killed me for 10K, had them under 5.5. Why? Oh, no. Oh, that's terrible, Patrick. I'm sorry to hear that. Under 5 and that 6 with the empty netter. Ooh, that is a tough finish. I don't know what to say there. I apologize that happened, but yeah, I guess when you bet big, you got to be willing to win or lose big in some cases. But maybe you'll get that next one. Cover your losses a little bit. So, Patrick, let's hear from you. What did you think about the game other than the score? I don't know if you had a rooting interest at all or any other insight you'd like to provide. Pop your comments up on the screen throughout the evening, you guys. But okay, so yeah, Sharks, not great. 17-48 and 8. Kraken, also not great, but a little better. 30 and 13 coming into this one. And we've talked about this at length throughout the season. Consistency and scoring, really the main issues for this team. It is good to see some of the young guys now up in the lineup. That's been exciting for me. As a true hockey fan, you know, you love seeing guys get their first chance, score their first goals in their career at the NHL level, and just kind of start to interact with the team and find their spot, find their place in this lineup. It's going to be really interesting to see it play out and see, you know, some of the guys are going to stick and do really well. Others are going to have to bounce back and forth. It's going to take time. But Shane Wright tonight really came up, injected right away into the lineup, and you can see that development, that progress. He looked a lot more confident. I thought his presence, you know, through the slot, finding people when he was passing, and settling into dangerous spots in the offensive zone tonight. That's what you like to see, that directivity and that confidence in your skating. And I felt like Shane Wright really had a great game tonight. I think he had almost, 18 minutes of ice. We'll look at that here towards the stats portion of the live recap. But yeah, great game for Shane Wright. Got that goal, second career NHL goal. And Sharks fall to the Kraken 2-4. Mackenzie Blackwood, I thought he played okay. Kraken were, you know, peppering him with shots. I think they ended up with the shot advantage at the end of the night. But yeah, that's kind of how things went. So let's look at the roster here real quick for the Kraken, because things have definitely changed around a little bit with some of the younger guys up in the lineup. Right now, you've got, like I said, Shane Wright up there injected into the second line alongside Schwartz and Eberle. So he's centering that line. That's normally where Alex Winberg would have been. So now with Winberg gone and departed, playing for the New York Rangers, best of luck to Winnie. But this is Shane Wright's opportunity now, and that's exactly where they put him in the lineup. So no surprises, and I thought it went really well for him tonight. Dangerous and really productive throughout the evening. Up top, Beniers, Tolvanen, and Bjorkstrand. Like that line, and they've kind of elevated them. I don't know if the ice time bears that out, but we can take a look at that as well. And then the scratches, kind of the story here, you're seeing Yamamoto, Tomas Tatar, and Pierre-Edouard Bellemare have all been scratched now for a few games going back. And that doesn't surprise me too much, because you've got to make room in the lineup, and you don't want to take some of your top liners out. So it doesn't surprise me to see those guys cycled out. And honestly, it's not going to surprise me a whole lot if those types of guys aren't back next season. We know Tatar is going to be a free agent. I believe Yamamoto is as well, because it was a one-year deal. Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, I'm failing to remember, but I'm pretty sure it was a one-year deal for him as well. So all three of those guys potentially not going to be back, so it makes more sense to get some of your future prospects up in the lineup, give them a shot, see what they got. Defense looks pretty normal tonight, but Vince Dunn finally back, so that's great for the Kraken, and he, looked okay, so that's good news for Kraken fans. Right there alongside Adam Larson. It's always great to see those two together. Great pairing up top for the Kraken, and Riker Evans slotted next to Dumoulin there. On your bottom pairing, Borgen and Alexiak, of course, together. So Fleury has kind of been the odd man out, flying a lot of air miles between Seattle and Coachella, and unfortunately hasn't been able to crack the lineup just yet. So hang in there, Cale Fleury. You never know, you might get your shot here. But Schultz, the other scratch tonight for the Kraken. So that's a look at the roster, you guys. And thanks for being here. for the live stream, for the recap. If you're watching the replay or live, I appreciate you guys being here tonight. So leave a comment and let me know in the chat how you're feeling. Let's get into tonight's recap. Going to break down into the game, talk about the goals, and just kind of think about how it feels to win a game. It's been a while, right? Been a little too long. We beat the Ducks back-to-back, but that honestly didn't really feel that great. And honestly, it doesn't feel that great over the Sharks either. So I guess we got to beat up on these Pacific Division chumps a little bit to feel better about ourselves. I guess at least we're not losing to them. I mean, we did lose to the Sharks early in the year, so I guess we're going to have to hear about that for a while. Anyhow, let's get to the first period. Grubauer gets the start. Mackenzie Blackwood goes for the Sharks, and just 29 seconds into this one, lightning bolt, Matty Beniers opens the scoring up. You've got a great pass from Eeli Tolvanen and Matty Beniers on the one-timer, and that's what you want. A quick start all over the Sharks right away, a team that is not as good as you are, even if we aren't that great. Anyway, so 1-0 lead right away. You get a power play right after that. Kraken don't capitalize with the man advantage, but they keep motoring. Minutes later, they appear to score again. This one's challenged by the Sharks, reversed on the replay there because the Kraken were offside. Turbo was into the zone just a little bit too early on that play, so call reversed back to 1-0. Kraken follow that up, though, with more energy. 11:26 into the first, and the maestro, Oliver Bjorkstrand, breaks through a great shot, a sweet one, gives the Kraken a 2-0 lead. Again, this time for real. And they go with it from there. Sharks now counter. Next, they go to the power play. Zetterlund, another missile of a shot. Puck's just flying around crazy tonight. Goes blocker side, beats Grubauer, and the Sharks cut the Kraken lead in half. It's 2-1. Seattle at this point in the first with the lead. Action continues now. Under 3 minutes left in the first. And Seattle fans are going to like this next one. The kid, Shane Wright, called up and immediately makes an impact, scores his first goal of the season and his second career goal with the Kraken, giving Seattle that 3-1 lead, and that was a big one at that point in the game. Great setup from Jordan Eberle. They kind of give and go as they streak up the ice. Eberle gets his 700th point here with the assist on Wright's goal, and you've got to love that for Jordan Eberle, for Shane Wright, for the Seattle Kraken. These are the moments, these are the things late in the season, even though they're not going to make the playoffs. This is important for the team to build on and for the fans to get to celebrate something a little bit. So, love seeing that for the Kraken tonight. We go second period now. And it starts out Kraken again now in the Shark zone. Burrow's called for tripping, so Kraken going to get a power play to start off the second period. The Sharks kill that penalty. They avoid going down by 3. Shots were 11-11 at that point, so kind of neck and neck shot-wise. I think I had only had a couple of shots myself at that point. No, just kidding. Only bubbly tonight. No shots. 14:59 left in the second, and the Sharks push back. Coming out of that there, the penalty kill, another shot finds its way to the back of the net here. Vlasic from the blue line kind of winds up, got traffic right in front of the net there, and it deflects in off of Kostin's stick. Feel like maybe Larson could have been a little bit more disruptive there on Kostin, but it was a quick one, kind of a seeing eye shot, and the Sharks cut the lead to 1 again. Kraken up 3-2. And the Kraken feel like they kind of lost their way in the second period a little bit. Maybe took their foot off the gas. Just out of sync a little bit. A little sleepy. Got to pick it back up. Under 6 to go. Things do pick up a little bit now. Kraken start to churn in the Shark zone. Some, great chances for Tanev, Cartier, and Gordo there. That line was clicking pretty good at that point. And the Sharks then counter back. A break, a good save by Grew, and then some rough stuff. Things starting to get physical. Some pushing and shoving after the whistle. Both teams engaged late in the second period. Sharks finish the second period on a power play, and we go to the third period. That carries over. Their power play does, and the Kraken penalty kill comes through early in the third. So that's important to avoid the danger situation there, maintain that 1-goal lead as you get into the third period. things kind of start to meander around a bit for the next 5 minutes or so, and then we go under 15. Both teams now sending streaks of chances to the net. Alexiak, a flash on the backhand. That one almost got through. And then the Sharks take a turnover. They go the other way. They get to the net. Drew was there. I like seeing this kind of back and forth. It's great for the fans. Of course, coaches hate it, but, entertaining hockey there as we got into the third period. A little bit of back and forth. And these slim margins now. Kraken holding that 1-goal lead. I talked about this on the podcast as well. Slim margins, the name of the game in the NHL. In this game, no exception. Coming down the stretch, 1-goal game. And the Kraken have to turn up the volume a little bit here. 11 minutes to go. They've got a flurry of shots. Then one hits Yanni Gourde in the crotch there. Poor guy. Hopefully he's all right. Looks like he was in pain, but he came back in. Kraken end up getting this one done as the Sharks pull their goalie with 45 seconds left, and McCann puts it in, making it 4-2. Kraken victory, and Seattle fans rejoice, I guess. I mean, I don't know how to feel about wins at this point. Of course, I want the Kraken to win. I don't think that they can really improve their draft positioning a whole lot. So may as well get a great positive result with some of the young guys in the lineup so they can kind of experience that and go through some great, positive moments instead of just negativity constantly. But that's how the game went. Kraken get it done. They beat the Sharks 4-2 at SAP Center. They're going to continue on the road here, the California road trip. And I believe Shane Wright's going to stick around here for a few games, according to Jeff Baker. Seattle Times sounds like they want to get him possibly 5 or 6 games, which did surprise me a little bit. I talked this morning in my podcast. By the way, check that out over on your audio apps, Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen. I try to do podcasts as regularly as I can over on those platforms as well. But talking about, the potential, maintaining his eligibility for the Calder Trophy. If he played 3 or more games, he wouldn't be able to be eligible for that. So it sounds like they don't really, or maybe they discussed it with Shane and he doesn't care. I don't know what the situation is. Not sure if we'll find out, but it does sound like they're comfortable rolling him more like 5 or 6 games while he's up, and then moving him back down to Coachella Valley so he can be a big contributor for the playoff stretch run there in Coachella Valley. So can't wait to see how this continues to go on the road trip. And then as the season winds up, some of the younger guys getting that future glimpse of the Kraken like we've talked about here. So 4-2, Kraken get it done. Like I said, key takeaways for me, that quick start. And this time you didn't, let it reverse course too far. You did have a couple of moments there for the Kraken, I thought, where they were getting a little bit inattentive, a little bit bogged down. That energy level dropped, I thought, through the second period, but they kind of snapped back out of it, took control. Pretty good defensively. I thought Grubauer did a pretty good job as well in net. And again, Shane Wright, that presence tonight just looked much more confident compared to his some of the past opportunities that he's had when he's been up with the Seattle Kraken. I feel like he's kind of settling in to those zones now that a goal scorer will find a little more confidently and competently, finding those dangerous spots, just looking more comfortable in just one game. So we'll see how it bears out over multiple games, but great job. Shane Wright notched his second career goal in that win for the Kraken tonight. Special teams, we'll look at this during the stats a little bit. Let's pull those up right now. And before I get there, let's read off the poll results. 60% of you would still rather be watching hockey and not a very busy night in the chat. That's okay. That's the way it goes sometimes. But if you are watching in the replay, be sure to leave a comment. I try to respond to every single one. And if you're still watching live, leave a comment in the chat. I'll put that up on the screen as well. Let me know who were your 3 stars tonight. Hopefully Shane Wright is in one of those positions. We'll see as we get to that. Going to look at that as well. So here's the game stats tonight. 32 shots on goal for your Kraken, 26 for the Sharks. So it's great to see the Kraken outshoot the other team and still win. What's up, Spartan? Great to see you in the chat saying, hey, how's it going? I'm doing pretty good. Like I mentioned at the start of this, I haven't been able to do as many live streams lately, or really very much at all this season, but we're back for now. So we'll see how it goes. Jim C showing up saying, I don't think they or he care about Calder status. Team player, no guarantee. I kind of got that feeling as well, especially because that information was put out so quickly. Maybe they had a quick conversation and Shane just said, yeah, not important. I'd rather play games, or maybe vice versa. I'm not sure. City Life Project says, love yard work. That's what I'm talking about. I'm a big yard work guy. It's been sunny the last 3 days in a row. I call it yard therapy, honestly. So I'm out there a lot. We do have a pretty decent sized yard, which I'm not complaining about. That's awesome. But it's a lot of hedges and yeah, a lot of stuff. We were moving bark and mulch around today. So yeah, that poll question, if you're just logging in, hit the poll question because the stream isn't over yet. We're getting towards the end, but I'll keep it going if you guys keep chatting with me here, because I haven't been able to do this very much. And Carol is here, says, missed your post games. Oh, thank you so much, Carol. I missed you guys. I've been very, very busy this year. Work has been absolutely crazy, but yeah, a lot of traveling, and I can't really record when I'm traveling. At least now. Maybe in the future we'll figure out a way to do that, but it just doesn't work logistically the way things are now. So yeah. Okay, poll results and then more comments. How do you feel about doing yard work? That's a pretty easy question. Love it, hate it, or I'd rather be watching hockey. It's 50-50 right now, so somebody's going to have to break the tie. Somebody's got to vote to break the tie. City Life says, good to see you, brother. Absolutely back at you. I know we keep talking about collaborating on an episode or something soon. I definitely want to do it. I know we keep saying it, but it's going to happen at some point. Promise you. Just been crazy busy this year, way more than I ever anticipated, and that's life. Always a pleasure seeing you stream. Best hockey channel on YouTube. Too kind, City Life. By the way, check out City Life Project. These guys, oh my God. Isha streams like constantly. I feel like his channel is a 24/7 stream because every time I hop onto YouTube, I'm getting alerts of a new UFC or MMA stream or Bellator. I've been watching a lot of fighting lately, believe it or not. Pretty entertaining, and I'm kind of looking forward to that. I know it's a little bit unrelated, but that Tyson and Paul fight this summer, that's going to be fun. Love the knuckles. Throwing hands. I love shoveling snow too. No. So we're gonna disagree on that one. Maybe a snow blower. That's a little more fun. Patrick says, I'm sitting here just staring at the score. Ugh. I can't even imagine. So Patrick, just for comparison, I'm not a big gambler guy, and but I do enjoy, maybe, so we go out to the casino sometimes and I'll throw 20, 30 bucks on a game or two. And we did that for March Madness, for the men's tournament this year. And we had a great night. Didn't win either bet, but I didn't lose. I didn't lose a lot. It was only like 20 bucks. So that's, sorry, man. Buy you a beer. I'll buy you a beer. Virtually. City Life says, I shovel as therapy. We got a foot last weekend in, oh my God, Minnesota. Now it's 66 degrees and it's all melted. Okay, well, that's good. So you don't have to shovel anymore. Yeah, it's too late in the year for a foot of snow. I'm not even a Kraken guy. I know this is the best hockey YouTube channel, man. You're going to make me blush tonight. Knock it off. I got to get through the stats here anyways. But no, I do appreciate the comments. Appreciate the support. I did, Isha, I'll let you know and everyone else, if you're still here or just tuning in, I released a new audio podcast episode this morning called Rearview Mirror, basically talking about how disappointing the Kraken have been this season. But some of the things we're looking forward to, some of the prospects, some of the changes I think that need to be made for the future of the organization. So check that out on your podcast app, Spotify, Apple, whatever. I don't think Google does podcasts anymore. I just read that they took down their podcast app, so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, I think the main one that people use is either Apple or Spotify. But yeah, it's available on all platforms. A little bit different than the YouTube channel, a little different tone, a little more storytelling than live streams. We will collaborate eventually, brother. Yes, for sure. I'm all in on that. I get it. I'm busy as well. Yeah, as hell too, man. So just kind of life. Everybody's busy. I feel like after, COVID kind of started winding down, everybody's jobs, everybody's lives just got so much more busy and crazy, even compared to before all of that happened. Or maybe it's just getting used to, life in general at this point. But yeah, I could go on and on about that. But yes, definitely busy here. Holy moly. Okay, so yeah, shots on goal, 32 for the Kraken. Faceoffs didn't win that metric. So Sharks 57% of the faceoffs tonight. Also 1 for 2 on the power play. And that's kind of been the way things have gone this year for the Kraken. Not great on the power play. I think they're 16th overall in the league. So mediocre, and that kind of leads to the big differential in goal scoring that we've seen this year. They didn't score as many goals as they did last year, and last year they overachieved. So kind of a bummer, and that's probably why they ended up where they're at in the standings, just didn't score enough. So let's look at the shots real quick by period, because that kind of breaks down the flow. Things about even in the first, about even in the second, and Kraken control it a little bit in the third, and end up with the edge 32-26. I don't know if those shots really do match up with the flow. Like I would pull up a flow chart from Natural Stat Trick right now, but I don't have it loaded up. But I think the flow is actually a little bit different than that. So the shot totals tonight by period could be maybe a little bit deceiving, but doesn't matter. It's the end of the season. Nobody really cares about all that. The Kraken win, and that's really all that matters as far as I'm concerned. Anytime you want to talk fights, especially hockey fights, you know where to find me. Definitely, I'll probably try to be on one of your upcoming streams here real soon. Like I said, a little more free time here over the next couple of weeks. So looking forward to that. And hopefully the weather stays nice, because I do want to continue to get outside and touch some grass. You know what I'm saying? Shoveling snow is both therapy and a workout. 2 birds stoned at once. Yes, definitely. You got to be efficient, especially at this age when you're trying to juggle a lot of things, job, work, YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. You got to mix in the workouts with your work if you can. That's what I'm talking about. It says, I'll check out the podcast. You know I'm a bit of a fan of it. Definitely. Okay, so yeah, let's collaborate soon. Can't wait to do that. And thanks for all the support, City Life Project. Patrick, thanks for leaving a couple of comments tonight. Carol's Dark Sarcasm, great to have you by. Jim C, of course, buddy over there with Kraken Fancast. Love to interact with that group as well. Great podcast. And Spartan, great to hear from you. Got to keep an eye on those Dallas Stars. They look pretty strong, and they kind of had their way with the Kraken the other night. So, and I brought that up because Spartan is a Texas resident, I believe, unless I'm mixing that up again. But I know we've talked about the Dallas Stars in the past, and they look like a team that could be pretty good coming out of the West. But man, Vegas, Edmonton, Vancouver, you've got all sorts of talent. Nashville on a heater lately as well. So I'm going to be really interested to see how the playoffs go in the Western Conference. Of course, the Eastern Conference as well, but being on the West Coast, I tend to watch a little bit more of the Western Conference hockey. 3 stars. Here we go. Oliver Bjorkstrand up top, the maestro. Jordan Eberle, the 2nd star. And there you got Zetterlund, the 3rd star. So I was hoping for Shane Wright, but he didn't quite have the point totals to get up into that category. And Jordan Eberle, you got to give him a star because he scored his 700th point tonight. So once again, congrats to Jordan Eberle. Also signed that 2-year extension with the Kraken. So he's going to be sticking around in Seattle, a fan favorite and a leader for this team. Can't wait to see how he helps this franchise along over the next couple of seasons. So there are your 3 stars. Got one more comment here. It says, always, brother, have a great night and rest of your week. Happy Easter. Back at you, Isha. Thanks again for all your support. And you guys do a great job. And we'll talk again real soon here. Let's look at the standings, I guess. I mean, there they are. The Kraken are 5th in the Pacific. At least we're higher than the Sharks and the Ducks and the Flames at this point. But yeah, you kind of want a position for the draft, I guess. But you're kind of stuck in between this wanting to win, but also wanting better draft positioning. But like I said, I don't think their draft positioning can change too drastically. But yeah, up top, Kings, Knights, Oilers, Canucks. It's going to be really interesting down the stretch to see that race, to see if the Kings can edge the Knights back into the 4th spot. And whether the Knights can catch the Oilers or not, I don't know. That's going to be a tough task, because the Oilers have a game in hand, and they've got 5 points on the Vegas Golden Knights. So Vegas might have to be careful. They might end up in wildcard positioning. We could look at that, too. Carol Stark Sarcasm says, sigh. Yeah, I know. I didn't want to look at the standings. Maybe on the next stream, what I'll do, instead of looking at the standings, we will, and I used to do this, we will look at the goal prediction, the game day goal predictions for today's game. I would do it now, but I don't have it queued up in my scene template here. So I'll get that hooked back up for the next stream, because it's really tight. I think Nerdy Mike and Jim C were tied up top. Chadzilla, a few other people that play it was really close up top. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, over on x.com in the mornings on game days, I do a post and I say, give me your first goal predictions, and everybody predicts who's going to score first, usually a Kraken player. And we just count whoever gets it right, and we count it throughout the season, and that's how it goes. Whoever has the most points wins. And so we're right there. We're right at the end of the season, and it's really close. So that's what I'm talking about. But yeah, sigh when it comes to the standings. So Carol's dark sarcasm. I believe next stream I will take the standings slide out of this live stream and replace it with something a little more uplifting, counting the game day goal predictions and who got it correct. So that will improve the next stream a little bit. All right, quick look ahead. Kings on Wednesday as the California road trip continues, and then Anaheim on Friday. Those are 6:30 and 7 p.m. games on the 3rd and 5th of April. Oh my goodness, April's here. And then back home for the Coyotes on April 9th. That's a 2-game homestand. You get the Coyotes, Sharks, and then the Stars. It's really too bad that the Kraken couldn't have kind of maneuvered into better positioning here late in the season, because a lot of these teams, minus the Kings and Stars there, Ducks, Coyotes, Sharks, you could have really gained a lot of points on some of these teams if you were in contention for a wild card spot, but that's just not the way it went. In that one homestand, the 8-game losing streak, it just completely blew those chances. So that's where we're at. Been a long year, but I'm looking forward to the future and looking forward to how these prospects kind of develop and see where the Kraken are here real soon. The future will be here before you know it. So reminder, before we go here, check out the podcast over on your audio podcast apps, Apple or Spotify. That's going to do it for tonight's episode. You guys, a couple more comments before we log out. Jim C says, all that matters at this point is we finish above the Flames. Absolutely. Don't want to finish below Calgary. And man, Hospital still haunting me with that hit that he placed on Vince Dunn. That one really just didn't sit right with me. And I'm really kind of curious to see what's going to happen. These two teams get back together. I think potentially there could be some fireworks, because I don't think anybody was real happy with that hit. The suspension, great, but hockey players have long memories. So let's see what happens when they get together again. Spartan says, I'm trying to go to the Stars game here. That would be great. Yeah, those are going to be some good games. They've got a great roster and some great goaltending. So I really can't wait to see what the Stars do into the playoffs. Thanks for the great stream. Thank you guys for being here. Spartan, Jim, City Life, Carol, Patrick, everybody that got to contribute here in the chat. And again, if you're watching in the replay, leave a comment as we log out. Tonight, Kraken, a victory 4-2 over the San Jose Sharks. And Shane Wright came up big with a big goal for the Kraken. His second career goal, and you'll love to see that. Can't wait to see more from Shane Wright and the Kraken here as the road trip continues. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you again on another stream here real soon at Sasquatch NHL. Have a good night.